Ultimately, postural restoration is walking and breathing. So let's just forget about the breathing part right now. And let's just talk about walking. What is walking? Walking is the ability for humans to rhythmically, or should be rhythmically, move forward in space. And the reason that humans are good at locomotion, at moving forward, and by any stretch of the imagination, you would have to say that humans have been successful in this universe of ours in terms of propagating the species and becoming top of the food chain, so to speak. One of the reasons we are able to do that is because we have freedom of our arms separated from the freedom from our legs and separated from our diaphragms and our necks. We can do all this type of stuff. A lot of animals can't do that. But the way that we do this is through rotation of the torso, rotation of the entire body. It's our rotational abilities that set us apart and get us moving forward. And we have freedom, and thus we have freedom of our hands. Here's the issue. Because of modern life and stress and tension, we become non-rhythmic. This is why I say what's a great activity to get more rhythm into your life, because gait should be rhythmic activity. You should spend one beat on your left foot, one beat on your right foot. But a left AIC, right BC pattern individual, because they're so stuck on their right side, they're spending too much time on the right foot. They are now off beat. They are walking off beat. I can get people neutral simply by having them walk with music. And I'm going to start posting videos of this, but I've already showed how I can get people neutral in a whole lot of different ways. In terms of, generally I'm showing the pelvis because that's what most people are familiar with and it's just the easiest to show. So rhythmic walking, I can have someone walk, I can test them and they won't be neutral. But if I have them walk with music and then lie down, they'll be neutral. Why? Because their brain entrains with the external sound. And the auditory cortex of your brain is directly connected to your movement cortex. So the brain matches the beat of the music, and now your heel strikes are equal because the music is keeping your heel strikes on beat. The left AIC, right BC pattern doesn't even have a left heel strike. You're not striking with your left heel, you're only striking with your right heel. The left foot is striking, but it's usually around, it's in front of the heel, not really the heel itself. That's why in PRI techniques, we're always focusing on the left heel. So rhythmic activity, that's great for the legs. Dancing is great for the legs. Walking to music is great for the legs. To regain rhythmic activity moving forward. What about the arms? Now, the most that, we don't do much with our hands anymore except for, being with a keyboard and a mouse. So I'm going to show you a video. Boxing, what's great? This might be the best activity for getting more rhythm into your life and thus start to feel better. This is so not about muscles and bones only. Okay, it's not about the left hamstring. It's not about the adductor and the glute. It's about establishing rhythmic activity in a fun environment, preferably, with people that you like, preferably, or to music that you like, preferably, because your emotional centers of your brain are also highly connected to your movement centers. You cannot separate emotion and movement. They kind of go together. So when you desire something, how do you actually obtain it? You move. You have to move to get it. So, we have desires and wishes and things that we want, and the only way we can really obtain them, or at least in the past, in ancient human history, they couldn't click on a mouse and get a video in front of them to give them pleasure. They had to move for it. So movement, movement, movement. So here's boxing. So all you're going to see, what's the important thing here is rotation. So just watch the video. And here I am. I am just hitting the bag. I'm not trying to do it hard. I'm just hitting it rhythmically with the music. 1, 2, 1, 2. Notice my torso rotating. Notice my pelvis rotating. And I'm doing this with my right foot forward, which would be, I guess, a left-handed stance. And then I just switch it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The point is not to beat up the bag. The point is to sense the bag hitting you. Every time you hit the bag hits you back and pushes you into the floor. So not only are you hitting the bag and the bag is hitting you, but the floor is pushing up on you every single time you do this. So what was I putting my awareness on? My feet. I was sensing the ground pressures alternate as my body was alternating above it with thoracic rotation, and that is the key. Your brain can only work on rhythm. Every time your foot hits the ground as you're walking, it will sense the perturbation, the vibration through your foot, up through your spinal cord to your brain. And it expects to have the same type of vibrations through your right foot as it does through your left foot. A left AIC patterned individual with the pelvis over to the right side is not getting that. Only if you can get your pelvis to the left and your torso to the left appropriately will you get the appropriate rhythmic vibrations, what your brain is expecting. And when it doesn't get it, it tightens you up. Do you really think a PEC or a patho-PEC is a strictly physical issue? It is not. I can guarantee you this. A PEC or a patho-PEC is someone who has no rhythmic activity going on whatsoever in any of their appendages because the spine doesn't rotate. How do you know the spine doesn't rotate? Very simply, they're extended. You try to check their shoulder internal rotation, not happening, not happening. Shoulder horizontal abduction. I show all these tests on my playlist for tests and exercises. Not happening. They don't have any of that. So what does that indicate? That indicates that they have a rib cage that's arched. They have the rib cage that's flared up, which means their back is arched. An arched back cannot rotate. It's stuck. So where are you going to start to rotate? Well, you're going to attempt to rotate through SI joints. SI joint issues is a rotational issue. SI joint pain is a lack of rotation through the mid-spine. So you got to find it somewhere. And unfortunately, it's often found in the lumbar spine and the SI joints, and that's when things start to go wrong. So boxing, you can see my torso rotating. I'm swinging my arms. I'm sensing the ground underneath my feet. I'm hitting the bag with a beat. So I'm on beat. My brain is finally sensing, I mean, not for me, I'm pretty rhythmic to begin with, but if you decided to do this, and I know you're off beat because you're watching this channel, and if you think you have a pattern, well, you're off beat. You're going to use the music to let your brain feel to find the rhythmic activity that has been lost over the years of sedentary living, like sitting at a desk too much. And what else? Too much bilateral weightlifting. Because when you're bilateral weightlifting and squatting and deadlifting and bench pressing and shoulder pressing, what are you doing? Extending your back. Most of you who are lifting weights out there, I'm pretty sure, are extended. And most of you are now going to be non-rhythmic because you're going to be extended. And if you're extended, you're going to be more on the right than the left, if you even have a right side. So boxing through the rhythmic punching of the bag punching you and the ground punching up on you as you move above the ground, exerting pressure, can help unlock your body. So that's something you can try doing in your, that should be important. Actually, you know what? If I had my way, every single person would be hitting a bag to music, they would be walking to music, and they'd be dancing. And I'm relatively sure a lot of people watching this channel, if this was all part of your life, would no longer need this channel, and I'll leave it at that. If you like this video, could you please like it, share it, spread the word one way or another, or subscribe to the channel? I would very much appreciate it. Thanks.